little like palm fronds to like remake your glasses, and they would be very hip.
Yeah. Or just like make a monocle out of them.
Right.
And be like, oh, hello, I'm posh desert island man. I've made a monocle with my eyeglass piece and a bunch of strands of palm. Very good. And you could have a real bad fake British accent. Wonderful. Wonderful. The future for you on the desert island. This is a multi-part question, though, John. Okay. Hannah goes on to ask, also, did cavemen need glasses? Also, could animals use them? Like Simon in Alvin and the Chipmunks?
That is a good separate question.
Good separate question. Simon from Alvin and the Chipmunks does apparently need glasses. It may just be a fashion choice so that he could be like, hey, just to be clear, right, I'm the nerdy one, so they put these on me.
Problems.
Who do you think made Simon's glasses from Simon and the Chipmunks? Did he have like name brand? Were they Ray-Bans? Were they like, did he get them from some mail order place? Or they seem very homemade to me.
Well, Hank, as it happens right now, I am at the Alvin and the Chipmunks Wikipedia, which is actually called Monkipedia, of course it's called Monkipedia because they're chipmunks, and also because chipmunk movies love a good pun. Like Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Chip, Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked. They all have fantastic puns in them. I should also say that the folks at Fox 2000 who made the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies also made the Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns movies. So I'm a little bit biased, but I do really like those movies. So,
so you know those people.
According to the CGI films at Monkipedia, Alvin's eyesight is extremely poor as he is unable to see a toaster waffle fall directly in front of him without his glasses.
Did you mean Simon when you said Alvin?
I did. I'm sorry. I'm not that much of an expert.
Okay, you got another question for us?
I'm just going to stay with Monkipedia for a moment, if I can. In Alvin, ! And the Chipmunks, that was the first time that Alvin, is it Alvin? Which one has glasses again? Simon. That was the first time that Simon wore glasses with blue rims. So that was an innovation. Usually it's black rimmed glasses, but they went with blue rims in Alvin, ! And the Chipmunks.
Well, I mean, don't you think that Simon made that decision?
It's not clear to me how much creative input Simon has into the films. My understanding is probably not a lot. Although I have heard that Simon is responsible for the title of the second movie, which was, of course, Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel.
Oh, well, I mean, he is the smart one. I am now at the Alvin and the Chipmunks Monkipedia wiki, and I have to say that the falling snow is a really wonderful effect. It is wintertime, but in addition to that, it's showing the four sort of like main or at least 4 of the iterations of Alvin and the Chipmunks. And on the upper left-hand corner of the background, we have what is probably the original Alvin and the Chipmunks drawings, and they are fine. And then there was a slightly evolved version of that where they look quite nice, and this is actually sort of what I remember as a child. And then on the right-hand side, we have the CGI versions, which are very different from each other. One is much more anthropomorphized than the other, but both are, I find, to be extremely unsettling, and I don't want to be in the same world as them anymore. So can we move on?
Unfortunately, we can't, because I've just found out that there is an episode of Alvin and the Chipmunks called For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Oh.
And I'm trying to determine how similar it is to the Hemingway novel, and the answer seems to be not that much. But you would be stunned by the complexity and length of the individual episode explanations over at Monkipedia, your number one source for Alvin and the Chipmunks trivia and information. Do you want to know where Simon's name came from?
I mean, it's a name that many people have.
It came from Simon Walrunker. I'm not very good at names. Who is a violinist and record producer from 1939 to 1955. Walrunker recorded music for 20th Century Fox films until he chose to enter the recording industry independently, co-founding Liberty Records. One of the major acts who recorded on Liberty Records was Alvin and the Chipmunks. And so that's why they named Simon Simon. Theodore was named after Theodore Keep, who was also a co-founder of Liberty Records. So there you go. We've gone all the way down the Alvin and the Chipmunks rabbit hole. I'm so excited about our new podcast, Hank, Monkipedia, a guide to Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Okay, I'm going to move away real fast before I accidentally make another Alvin and the Chipmunks joke and we continue talking about this. Speaking of giving in, John, do you want to know a sad story about giving in?
Yes. Sorry, I'm right now on the Monkipedia page for Simon's alternate identities. And did you know that in the original Alvin and the Chipmunks TV show, there was a Cinderella episode where Simon plays the fairy god monk?
No, John, I didn't know that about Simon being the fairy god monk. But you interrupted my intro into this story I wanted to tell about hopelessness and giving up.
Okay, great. Please tell me. I feel so weird, like we have suddenly inhabited opposite consciousnesses, like we're in a Freaky Friday situation or something, because you're the one who's obsessively talking about extreme darkness, and all I want to do is tell you an astonishing fact that you cannot possibly be ready for, which is that in the 80s Chipmunk show, there was an episode where they recreated Star Trek.
Yeah. No, I believe that. I think I may have seen that one.
It was called Star Wreck, The Absolutely Final Frontier, and Simon played Mr. Speck. There was also a spin-off of RoboCop called RoboMonk, where Simon played Dr. Simon Eyes. Some of these puns are not very good, and there was a spin-off of Splash called Sploosh, in which Simon played Trusty. And a spin-off of Batman, in which Simon played Batmonk / Bryce Wayne. That's not even a pun as far as I can tell.
No.
It doesn't feel like, at a certain point in the 8th and final season of the 80s Chipmunks television show, it does feel kind of like they were giving up. Did you know that Alvin of Alvin and the Chipmunks actually has a last name?
Oh, my God.
It's Seville. Like the, I believe that's
what Dave's
a city
last
in
name
Spain.
Is. It's because Dave's last name is Seville.
Well,
they just got his last name.
But why is Dave's last name Seville? He said, knowing that the answer is somewhere on Monkipedia.
Oh God, it's almost like I know more than you about Alvin and the Chipmunks, John.
Not for long, but not at the end of this hour. Hannah, I'd like to tell you a story. I'd like to tell you a story about a man named Ross Bagdasarian Sr.
What's happening?
Ross also faced a choice when he got home from World War II. He faced a choice between going and living a normal life and having a normal job and following his passion, which was to speed up the sound of his own voice using a voice recorder that he had bought and sing songs in a voice that sounded like a chipmunk voice. Ross had been stationed in Seville, Spain during World War II, by the way. And do you know the choice that he made? Did he make the choice to take the non-programming job that paid somewhat more, but only for a little while, and who knows what the future holds? And if you are making a living doing what you love to do, and saving 30 minutes a day, isn't that wonderful? He made the choice. I'm sorry, I lost myself in trying to make the connections here. But the point is that he chose to follow his dreams, which were not like totally random dreams. They were the completely realistic dreams of a man who just wanted to make a living singing with a sped up voice that sounded like chipmunks. And he did it. He did it, Hannah. He did it. And that is the whole reason that we have Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel, the whole reason that we have Alvin and the Chipmunks Shipwrecked, the whole reason that we have Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Road Chip, which for a while I think also had the tentative name Planes, Trains, and Automosqueals. So I think the answer here is very clear, Hannah, that if you're making a living doing something that you like and find fulfilling, that you will over time find more opportunities in that, and an extra year paying off your student loans is not going to be a huge deal in the scheme of things. That is my opinion. I think you should go to Monkipedia, look up Ross Bagdasarian Sr., and just be inspired. Just be inspired as I have been.
What about this? Okay, Google, who is the creator of Alvin and the Chipmunks? I really want to know if that works.
Alexa, can you play Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas, please? Thank you.
Well, now the podcast is off.
Yep, now the podcast is off. Nobody's listening anymore. But they are enjoying what I would argue is the greatest Christmas album of all time, not recorded by John Denver.
Oh, man, you haven't heard my Christmas album then.
Hank, what did we learn today?
Oh, God, I don't know.
I mean, what do you mean you don't know? We learned so much about chipmunks.
We did. We learned a lot about Ross Bagdasarian and also Simon and Theodore at Liberty Records and the color of Simon's glasses and their increasing progression into creepier and creepier forms as 3D technology has gotten better. For some reason, it only makes chipmunks worse.